Hello, my name is Brian Dorr. I'm a captain at Station 61. I'm also a system administrator for the Aladtec system. I'm going to be giving a presentation that I gave to the union during a labor management partnership meeting back in February, March, with a couple slight variations. So a couple years ago, a bargaining unit member approached a supervisor suggesting that we consider using a web-based online scheduling system to replace the clunky Excel spreadsheet. And after some research, we agreed to pursue a contract with Aladtec. And that contract was recently approved. So we're moving forward, and we're still working under the hood, tweaking some things, and we don't have an implementation date set yet. So Aladtec is a sophisticated online application which runs on secure and dedicated web servers. So it's redundant, and think of maybe a bank security. So they've got some security in place to help protect information. And it can be accessed by an employee from any web browser. So on any computer, smartphone, or mobile device. So what's great about that is you don't have to be at work logged into an NMCI computer to see your schedule. You can do it from your smartphone. Here's a list of some local agencies currently using Aladtec. I'm going to cover the dashboard, the member database. I'm going to talk about schedules, how to process time off requests, trades, how to volunteer for overtime. This is just a brief overview. There's more detail in the YouTube videos. Touch on forums, discussions, and how to find help. So you're presented with a unique web address for our online scheduling system. Members are given a username and password, and they log in, at which time the members can change their password in their MyInfo page. So on the home screen, you're presented with a dashboard. And that dashboard, as you can see also on the mobile version, consists of your upcoming shifts that you're working, what schedule, possibly what position, available trades, any events. Mobile version, you see events too, but they're just off screen. And any expiring information, such as physical expiration dates, badges, licenses, things of that nature. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a department name with a drop-down arrow, which has some external links that are convenient for you. Anything with CAC requires a common access card to link to. Links are not available in the mobile version. So under Members MyInfo page is where your personal information is collected. And you can see here some general information such as mobile phone provider, name, username. Date hired would be your service comp date, how you want to receive notifications, and you can see under work qualifications a list of schedules that the individual is permitted to work and what positions the individual is permitted to work. This information is also available on the mobile version, as you can see here. However, some of the personal identifiable information won't be viewable. You can see in the example in the mobile version, you have a work history. So the voluntary overtime list, forced overtime list, and last rotation are all determined by the dates that are entered here. So the employee can see when they were last forced. If there was any problem with that date, they could just notify a supervisor to make that correction. So that information that is compiled in the MyInfo page consists of the member database. And again, any personal identifiable information is not available to members. Supervisors do have access to some of this information because it's a need to know. Now, it's a lot of content, and because there's a lot of content in there, you're able to filter it down. And you can see here in the upper left, there's some system views. So there's automatic filters based on the categories within the MyInfo page, or you can create custom filtered views. So every member can create their own custom view. So as I have highlighted here, forced overtime group 3 Saturday, you can see that a member could create the forced overtime list for their own group. So in this case, it's filtered based on the last forced overtime, and McRae is number 1 on that list. Schedule views, menu, you go to schedules, schedule view. We have a default view of the weekly shifts view. We're looking at Johnny Gage here, and his name is highlighted on the weekly view here. You can see he's working Monday and Tuesday. This can be also filtered, and there are other views such as daily view, pay period view, monthly view, and you can toggle to a different date. You can toggle forward or backwards. On the mobile version, you just pretty much see a daily view. Here's an example of a pay period view. You can see here, this is my schedule. Shows that I'm on leave on the 20th, 21st with an event also on the 21st. My name is highlighted. My schedule, we're looking at Johnny Gage. He has a My Schedule on the left. Under Options, you see a legend. They're color coordinated with some options to select time off or a trade or edit availability. So you can see everything's color coordinated there, with blue being the scheduled shifts that Johnny's working. The orange is his time off. Yellow, he's made himself available to work overtime. And green are either trade solicitations, or on the 23rd, Johnny is seeking a trade. So he's still blue there because he's still scheduled to work. It's not been approved, but he's got a trade out there hoping that someone will respond to it. And the mobile version, you can see, is also color coordinated, so you can see the similarity between the two. And those features to submit time off or a trade or edit availability is by selecting that particular date on the mobile version. So if Johnny wants to take leave, he just selects one of the days that he's working, and he gives a pop-up window where he can have a couple options here: seek a trade or submit leave, likewise on the left there on the mobile version. So then he wants a time off. He's got the window here to indicate the type of time he wants to take. He can add a note, and he can submit that for a supervisor to approve. Once it's approved, it takes the blue schedule off of his schedule and then adds the orange leave onto the schedule. And you can see the mobile version on the left is nearly identical. It's just the format's a little different. It's also color coordinated orange to reflect the schedule view. Trades, you can see on the mobile version is color coordinated, the green, like in the My Schedule view. However, the desktop version does not have that at this time, but the feature is pretty much the same. So you can basically select multiple recipients to try to generate a trade. Anybody that's not on duty that's permitted to work your schedule or position, or you can just select one particular individual that you might already have a verbal trade agreement with. And then once you send that request out or someone responds to it, then they can provide the shift that they want to work. So here on the left on the mobile version, you can see James Nichols has a request for a trade, and Johnny's responding to that. Johnny can also see on the desktop version here, he's looking at trades. It shows the shifts he's scheduled to work that he could submit a request for. He has an outstanding request for the 23rd, and then he sees here the one that's for Nichols. So he can swap it here, or he can swap it on the mobile version. So if he responds to that, so basically what that does is it presents a list of the dates that Johnny is currently working, and he selects the date that he wants to offer to Nichols. Same on the mobile version here. And you can offer multiple days if you want by checking that checkbox here. So then he sends that off to the other firefighter, and if they're in agreement, he'll say, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then it goes to supervisor for approval, and once approved, it places it automatically onto the schedule. Takes Nichols off and puts Johnny on, and vice versa. Availability is a method that we use for volunteering for overtime. So again, in the My Schedule view, you could select edit availability or select one of the dates that you're off and select edit availability, and it brings up this pop-up window, and you can see it on the left on the mobile version. So what you do is then you just go ahead and select the dates that you want to work, which are highlighted in the yellow, gold, orange color there, and you can just add availability. And what that does is when a supervisor is editing the schedule for a particular day, filling overtime, they are presented with a list of firefighters who might have submitted availability to work overtime. So you could have one or multiple individuals wanting to work that overtime. And then the supervisor can sort based on policy on who's up next. If you want to have a broad overview of the availability, you have this view here, which shows in yellow all the availability that's on a particular day. So it could have numerous employees who volunteered for overtime. It shows who's on leave and who's currently working. And you can filter this, and you can change the view between daily or weekly, just like you can with the schedule views. This is not available in the mobile version. Forms, some of the forms are accessible by members, some by supervisors. It all depends on access level. But here's an example of a property pass. So maybe a firefighter wants to participate in the firefighter stair climb, and they need to check out some PPE, SCBA, for example. They would complete this form and they would submit it, and it would notify as a particular supervisor for approval. We have discussion boards or forums. This could be beneficial for programs if they want to bounce ideas off each other, or accreditation team, whatever. It's a feature that's available to us. Whether we choose to use it or how much or if at all, that remains to be seen, but it is a feature available. If you need help, select the help menu. Aladtec has quite a few videos that they've developed. They also have a YouTube channel, which has some more in-depth how-to videos. They have some webinars in there, so if you're willing to sit through 40 minutes of a webinar, you'll get a more in-depth overview of the system than in this PowerPoint. You can also visit our YouTube channel, which consists of shorter 3 to 6 minute average videos on how to use the system, whether it be mobile or desktop, or just in general, some quick tips. That's pretty much it. Thank you.